You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now. And we are recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friends of Rugby podcast.
Welcome. Croeso.
We're just sitting here on a fresh Sunday morning.
Yeah.
No, Monday morning.
Oh, it's Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a long weekend.
Yeah, a long weekend is a statutory holiday. It's a bank holiday, as we say.
Wait a second. What did you do yesterday?
Nothing.
Why didn't you record yesterday?
I wanted to do nothing.
Oh, my God.
It was deliberate.
Frank.
It was deliberate.
Fuck's sakes. I thought you were like out doing stuff because you told me.
I was doing stuff, but just
God.
without the presence of other people. It was wonderful.
Your life's a mess. You didn't even finish your breakfast.
I'm not hungry.
You're like a child.
You
finish your vegetables.
Mind your business. Let's talk about rugby.
Before we talk about rugby,
Yeah.
I want to talk about AI.
Okay.
Something totally applicable to rugby.
Well, it's going to be applicable to fucking everything pretty soon.
Yeah, I was a big proponent of AI.
Okay.
I was like, AI is the best, especially when it got me out of work. For doing things, I had to write some reports
Yeah.
for work, some like safe work procedures.
Putting some confidential
And I'm
info
sitting
into
there
GPT.
and I'm like, step one, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a second. Why am I doing this? And I plugged all the stuff I wanted it to say into AI.
Yeah.
And it made this like huge, awesome like safety report thing. And I'm like, oh my God, that took like 3 seconds. And
Yeah.
it did. I just had to do a little bit of editing.
You put the prompt in.
Sent it out to my boss. They're like, oh, this is great. This is what we need. So I was like, I do it all the time now, right?
Yeah.
But then I realized this morning,
Mm.
I was like drinking my morning coffee, got up. I was like, I'm watching YouTube, watching like rugby highlights because I know we're going to podcast today. I was like, oh, I'll watch some stuff.
Yeah.
So I realized like AI is just going to give us nothing but shit. I see this like thumbnail and it's got Peter Steph the Twat or Peter Steph the Toy. Yeah, Peter Steph the Toy.
Yeah.
See, I'm saying it fucked up because of AI.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, what's this? I click on it and it's like, hello, friends. When you're watching rugby, there is a player, Peter Steph to it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like AI is going to fuck everything up. And it's just like this AI and it's random images. And then it just shows like an image of Peter's dad.
Yeah.
And it's just some guy.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I didn't know his dad. And then people are like, that's not his fucking dad. Blah, blah, blah.
It's just some AI monster.
I'm like, AI is it's going to ruin everything, especially rugby.
Okay.
Rugby.
Counterpoint. Do you remember when the internet came out? The internet, like, it was mid-90s.
Yeah.
And there was the noises. And if someone phoned your house, it cut off the internet.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I started playing some, like, online shooter game on a 56K Ethernet modem, whatever. And it was shit. Like, you know, it was glitchy. I couldn't shoot people. It was awful. And I thought, the internet's overrated. And now look at it. Like, this will get a lot better. This will get a lot better.
Or are we just going to get more shitty...
And it'll objectively
videos
make a lot of things
rugby.
terrible. Like, it will make online
Because I went to
content
a
terrible.
hole, and then I just started finding more and more videos of this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this the new content?
It is.
Because there's going to be a lot of people getting into the sport,
Yeah.
and they're going to find these videos because they're all over.
But it's not just a rugby problem. It's an everyone problem.
Yeah. I don't care about everything else.
I know.
I just care about rugby.
I know. But don't imagine that everyone else isn't going through this, right? We're in this together.
I'm pretty sure like rugby is the only thing going through this.
Okay.
There's nothing else going through
Just
this.
rugby. AI has targeted rugby like Skynet.
I was like, God damn it. Like all these videos, I found like an army of them just like popping up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's millions of them. Yeah. And I think they'll get better, but they will just saturate it to the point where anyone who's making something interesting and nuanced will get overshadowed by someone who can make something in seconds, you know. Why are we talking about this?
We're going to get like AI podcasts.
That'd be good. We talk a lot of shit.
Just like put in what we want to say and then it'll analyze
I bet you
our
could,
episodes and it would create an episode that would sound like something like
you can do that now. You can do that now.
Yeah, I know you can do that now.
Yeah, yeah. You could put in all the episodes we've made and get it to generate our voices and talk about... I mean, it wouldn't be up to date or relevant, you know, but you can do it.
Maybe talk about like toasters and frying pans
Yeah,
and
it
shit,
might be, yeah.
like random stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that was my morning watching AI rugby videos and watching how shit they are. And I was like, nothing good's going to come from AI.
Yeah.
I take it all back.
Okay.
It's just going to be all shit videos.
There's a middle way, probably. Rugby happened, though. Do you watch any rugby?
There was a lot of rugby that happened this weekend.
There was. Yeah, we're back in business. Can we start with the women's rugby?
We can start with the women's rugby, the heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Our heartbreaking Canadians.
I don't think I've seen anyone except New Zealand or France take England as close as they did. England have looked nothing but dominant in women's rugby for, well, unless it's a fucking World Cup final, apparently.
Okay, did you watch the Canadian-England game? Cause
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
that was a fucking, like, firefight.
I thought Canada they nearly beat them.
Yes.
And that would have been incredible.
Okay, so I thought you were going a different direction with this.
No, I'm saying no one has pushed England like that since New Zealand. And okay, so this is what I want to say about this, right? It reminded me of Wales played Canada in Nova Scotia, I think it was last year. And I thought Canada probably win that, but give it 10 years and Wales are going to win that because, all the Celtic nations just went professional. It's just a fact of life, right? They're going to have more money, more time in training. And Canada, if they don't go professional, are going to slowly, not decline, but they won't keep up, right? The standard will go up and they won't. Canada's they're like the Argentina of women's rugby, They just keep defying the odds. Like, how do they produce that level of quality without professional teams? England have no excuse to only be one try
first of all,
ahead.
you got to thank England.
You got to thank them.
Because the majority of the players...
They do play in England.
They play in England.
Right, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Right?
They are the academy system for most countries now, aren't they?
I don't know what kind of like right now, like Team Canada, like to even like further how good they are.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about the girls that are like actively like to get the girls to Team Canada.
Yeah.
These girls are actively pursuing Team Canada.
Yeah.
There's no one like looking out for them.
No.
There's no one like hunting and scouting these girls. These girls are like pushing themselves to Team Canada.
They have to take the CV into the office, don't they?
Yeah, they got to bring the resume over.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Right? So I don't know the ins and the outs of like how much Rugby Canada helps these women get to professional setups.
Yeah.
I do know that from people I personally know, I know Team Canada did pay for some things to get them over.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
To
but they can't help a lot, though, can they?
No,
they do what they can.
A lot.
I'll tell you a story about one of our players who plays for Canada, right? I won't say any specifics, but she went into the camp and they said, if you want to play for Canada, you have to be playing for a professional team. You can't be playing just a club team in the city. So she went out and played in another country, professional rugby, and they need you to do that, right? And you're right, like to do that, she has to have the onus to go, I'm moving to another country. And they kind of, they paint it in a positive way, going on an adventure, you're going to spend some time in another country, but you have to be willing to uproot your life if you want to play, for Canada as a woman. I
kind of find this as a young, when I was young, I lived in England, I lived in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I find that like, I know that's like kind of scary to uproot your life and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that's an experience that you're like never going to forget.
Totally. And I was the same. I lived in a lot of countries. I lived in Japan and, other places. But it's in hindsight, you see that. And don't get me wrong, I wanted to do it, but it was scary and I did have to uproot my life. And what I'm trying to say is maybe that's a strength, right? Because let's say I'm a Welsh player who's been playing for a club in England and all of a sudden all that changes is they start paying me when I go to the Welsh camp more. And my life just gets a bit easier. Whereas if you're a Canadian and you have to go to the other side of the world and you're pushing yourself to be really good at rugby, that drive shows itself on the field. Maybe that's what's happening.
And you have to do a lot of life learning too.
Yeah.
Because these people are like young.
Yeah.
They're moving to a different country.
Yeah.
Now they got to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
I remember when I was fucking 19, 20.
Yeah.
And I was in England and I had to go grocery shopping for the first time. And this is the first time I ever went grocery shopping for myself.
Yeah.
And I just walk in there,
walked into a Tesco, kicked the door down.
Stars in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I realized really quickly I couldn't afford everything that I wanted. It was there I remember it was eye-opening. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I have to buy the no-name brands. Like I couldn't. So there is a lot on your shoulders to do that, but I think it's worth it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like me and you are sitting here in our little ivory tower going, we had a great time with our traveling in our youth. What I'm trying to say though is with these, maybe that's a strength for the Canadian women rather than a weakness that they don't have professional teams. Anyway, something's happening there that they are just doing very well, and I think they just have a lot of talent right now as well. Like I said last week. I would say
right now the starting 15 for the Canadian women are equal to the best in the world.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And if they had more depth,
this starting 15 is toe to toe with every other women's team in the world.
It would be hard to deny that, wouldn't it? Like, that's not just like a hunch, that's statistically true, isn't it? You know. Now
that being said, the women's 15 tournament that's been going on for like the last month.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 6 teams per division.
Right.
I don't know what it goes down to, 5.
Yeah,
1,
maybe.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Maybe.
Okay, 6 teams, 3 rounds.
Yeah.
3 rounds.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? Do you know what I'm trying to get at here?
Lot less games. Yeah.
The teams don't even get to play.
They don't play every team. No, they don't.
They only do 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So Canada didn't play New Zealand.
Yeah.
Canada didn't even play the fucking USA.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? I didn't even know that. I thought they all play each other like a normal like tournament. Like there's no fucking sport thing ever anywhere that does this. And I was like, what the fuck? You guys couldn't have put the 2 rounds in there?
Be patient though. This is getting better a lot quite quickly, and you can't expect it to be the same coverage and standard.
I know that, but like if it was the men and they were starting something out, and they were just starting something new, there's no fucking way they would have 6 teams, 3 rounds.
You say that, but Canada, the men's team, have struggled to get an international fixture that's quality in a long time. That they played Scotland this year was miraculous.
I guess even in the what's it called, the Pacific Nations Cup,
the tiny PP Cup.
Yeah. They don't play.
They don't exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But there's only one game. There's only one team they don't play in that pool.
Right. Yeah. Which isn't terrible. What I'm saying is just be patient. The women will get there.
It's so rugby.
It's very rugby.
That's the problem. That's the whole problem. When you talk about shit like this, it's so fucking rugby. Like they always just fucking cut something short somewhere.
Yeah.
They always
like they don't
something,
care or they've forgotten about it.
Like it's just rugby is like the people that run rugby just like fucking almost like hate rugby.
It does feel you know exactly what it is as well. It's some guy who got comfy in retirement and he's sat there at a desk going, oh yeah, we'll do that. And it's just like he'll say all the right things in a meeting, but when push comes to the shove, there's no organization, there's a lot of incompetence, there's a lot of laziness.
And you can always count on them to make some fucking odd fucked up decision.
They'll say something weird, they'll change a rule that doesn't make any fucking sense, and we'll be sat there going like, you even watching the game, you know?
Yeah, like it's just you always can count on it.
Yeah. Let's not turn this into a negative though.
Yeah, it's so fucking there's just
it'll get there.
It's just something shit just frustrates me. It's like, this is so when I saw that, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's the other games? And then I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking rugby. Like this is the most rugby shit ever. But anyways, back to the women. Yeah. The Canadian women, like they're starting 15.
Yeah, very good.
Best in the world.
Yeah. Not best, but
equal.
Equal to. Yeah, I agree.
There's some surprising things. Like France, I don't know what's going on there.
The USA, I'm a
powerhouse.
The USA, I'm a bit disappointed by as well. You know,
USA is a very interesting thing too.
Yeah,
I think I said it last week. Like their player pool is huge.
Yeah.
So, but they are a lot like the Team USA. Like they're a lot like Canada, and I think it's even worse. I think it's even like the USA Rugby Union is even in a worse position because there's a lot of disconnect.
Yeah.
Between the rugby union, like USA Union, and all of rugby in the United States. It's all scattered. It's not like one breeding unit.
Yeah.
Like the collegiate level has like nothing to do with Rugby USA.
Yeah.
Right?
They're missing hundreds of players there, aren't they?
I think it's just an American thing. They don't like having like an overlord over their sports.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you here? It's like, hey, we're here to like facilitate and overlook this whole thing.
Yeah.
What? No. Yeah, and you guys got to give us money. Whoa. Yeah. Right? So they like Americans hate unions.
Yeah, they do.
They fucking hate unions anyways. Yeah. In general, they don't like that word.
Yeah.
So like there's like a big disconnect down there. So like it's even in more shambles. Like it's even like in a dire situation because there's a lot of disconnect between USA Rugby. They've lost a lot of like grasp over their own sport in that country.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. So that's I think that's kind of playing a part in it. The French women. it almost feels like they're getting worse and worse and worse.
It does, doesn't it?
And I don't know what the professional setup's like in France.
It's pretty fucking good.
Is
you know,
it?
it's as good as England's because they produce an insane amount of talent. They bring people in from overseas. They have a league. Like, yeah, I'm not an expert, but it looks as good as England. So I don't know what they're doing wrong. I mean, everyone's not always as good as their structure. And that's true in Canada's case, right? Canada are better than their structure. So, you know, your individual talent, particularly when it's not quite a fully formed professional sport, women's rugby, it's always going to be better or worse because, you know, it's like the 70s in rugby. Your team is only as good as your best players. And that's true in women's rugby right now.
What I want to see, what I'm going to do after we do this episode, just for the next, I'm going to look at all the professional women's leagues.
Yeah.
I'm going to see the numbers. I'm going to see the numbers of games. And I want to see like the average pay.
You're going to do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll do that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to look that up because I'm really interested to see the amount of money and time going into professionalism in these different countries.
And then we're going to hash it out.
And then we're going to hash it out.
Because
it'll really give the picture of... It'll really show what's... Because like in what's the Celtic Challenge for the women? That's what it's called,
that's
right?
Right, yeah.
So... They're not all professionals. There's like only a certain.
No, they're all professionals.
They're all professionals.
Yeah,
I thought there was like a number of contracts, or they're professionals, and there's national contracts now for that.
That's right, because some of those players, in fact, a lot of those players play in England for their club, and then they'll play because that tournament, the Celtic Challenge, is not a long one, is it? You only play like each other, like once. So sorry, what I'm saying is. There's 2 Welsh teams, 2 Scottish teams, 2 Irish teams. If you took those 2 Welsh teams and you formed the Welsh national team, most of the players would actually be playing in England rather than for the Celtic Challenge, right? But, you know, you got to play that 2 or 3 seasons for the quality to improve, which it will. So, yeah, it'd be cool to talk about numbers there, though, because like it's something obviously I'm interested in and I want to find out more about it.
I would really like to see, this is kind of a cool thing, it's not going to happen, but the women's teams and the men's teams in the club level kind of join more. Yeah. Kind of interact more with each other.
I always thought, you know, when you play a fixture, maybe it's like a Saturday fixture, you've got one game at, I don't know, 6. Just play a game before. I don't know if that affects like the pitch quality or if it affects logistics and planning and organization, but just have double headers, right? Have like the Cardiff rugby women and then the Cardiff rugby men playing back to back, you know? I thought it'd be cool.
When I went to the first round of the women's 15 in BC there at BC Place, we watched the 3 games in a row. I loved that. Yeah. Some of the people there though, it was a little too much.
You could sit there watching rugby all day.
But back to back, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that'd be good.
I would love that,
but it's a lot of time because then you're giving up. Like if you're gonna go to watch 2 games in a row, you're basically giving up your whole day.
Yeah, and I think that's why sevens works. I'm not a big fan of sevens, but that's why it works is because you can watch 20 games inside of an hour sometimes.
It's also not every weekend.
No.
Right? So you're not going every other weekend to watch sevens all weekend.
Yeah, totally.
Because if it was every weekend at one place, like if it was your home team and they played like 10 games every weekend, no one's going to go watch 10 games all on one.
Anyway, I'm excited. I'm not grumpy about it. It's going in the right direction. There's going to be some bumps in the road, but yeah, fair play to Canada as well.
What I really liked was England was the best team there. Yeah. But they had to work.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
They had to work. Like they are the best team, but you could see the other teams pushing them. Yeah. Pushing them to the limit, especially Canada.
Because in the Six Nations, that doesn't happen. England basically walk it. And finally, some teams are starting to make them sweat, right?
The only thing I'm worried about is for Canada to stay at that level, like Rugby Canada has to really step up because of the lack of development, like professional development here. Like for them to stay on top of that and to stay relevant, they have to start doing something where they're scouting these women, they're getting these women into professional setups. Like
the pathways need to be better.
Someone needs to be looking. Someone needs to be. There's only a few cities you need to go to. There's only you only need someone to go and watch some games for a couple weeks in each city. Look at these players. Yeah. And then just start putting them on the radar. Like, hey, I saw you. You have some talent. Here's some information. Yeah. We'd like to hear from you in the future.
Come to this tryout in this place.
Come to this tryout. Yeah. Just start getting Like
Yeah.
I don't know if they're already. They might.
They
even,
do that.
They might even be somewhat doing that.
They
but-
do that, but they rely on the universities to do that for them a bit, right?
Yeah,
And that's nothing wrong with that, but they have to have their own pathways.
and that's true. Like if you're only looking at the universities too, you're not even seeing. Like I guarantee you, Canadian rugby is not even looking at. They're probably only looking at a quarter of their potential talent for the women.
Yeah, and that's because they don't have those scouts or those coaches in the right place. They just don't have them, do they?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they would if they could, but you got to invest. You got to hire a guy to go and do that, don't you? Or a woman. Anyway,
What do you want to talk about now?
that was a bit serious. I want to talk about something really dramatic.
What do you want to get into?
I want to talk about Felix Jones teaching everyone on Zoom how to be the best
Oh,
rugby defenders that they can be.
I fucking love this.
You go.
So Wigglesworth
Yeah, Richard Wigglesworth.
is the most English name, by the way.
It's a bit of a tongue twister. I sometimes want to say Richard Wigglesworth.
When I saw Richard Wigglesworth for the first time,
yeah,
I was like, that is the
Wigglesworth.
fucking most like Harry Potter fucking name
It is, isn't it?
I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah,
Like,
Wigglesworth.
anyways, he got promoted.
Has he got promoted?
Yeah, to number 2. He's the
What was he before
he's
then?
the number 2. He was the attack coach.
Right. The attack coach shouts, "I'm pretty fucking high up in the coaching hierarchy," though.
Yeah,
Right.
but now he's like number 2.
What is be more specific?
He
What are
is
you talking about?
basically the Ian Foster to the Steve Hansen.
So he's
If that's the best way to go about it,
okay.
right?
Okay.
But the best part is
Yeah.
Felix Jones working remotely. What the fuck is he doing?
I don't know. How do you run a defense session on Zoom?
Like,
Just shouting. Maybe they have him on a little robot that goes around the field. There's like a laptop on a robot on wheels, and it just goes around just shouting at people.
this is the weirdest coaching situation I've
Yeah.
ever seen in sports ever.
Yeah.
Especially like you were saying, like the standard that should be at England rugby.
It should be the best.
It should be the best.
Yeah.
And then they got this like fucking guy working off of Zoom. Like, what is
Who
going
had
on?
to fight with everyone? Like,
Now they have a full-time defense coach.
well, of course they do.
So it's that guy that came out of nowhere. We don't know who he is.
El Abd, Joey El Abd. I wish. Yeah. I don't
Joe
know.
El Abd.
Joe El Abd. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, he must have come from league. I didn't know. If you're a French rugby fan, you probably know this guy.
Well,
is.
he was the Onyx.
Oyonne.
Is that how you say
I
it?
have no idea actually.
It's
I
a
think it's Oyonne.
Oyonnax.
Mayonnaise.
Oyonnax.
I don't know. You say how you want.
He was the director of rugby there.
He was like he's been in union for a while.
So he's got some, but I've never heard of him. I don't know.
Right.
Like I don't know how he got on the radar.
Yeah. It
And-
does feel like a bit. I
But
don't.
what is so? Felix Jones has got to be doing some sort of like he must have to like. Okay, every Tuesday you have to give us a report
Yeah.
on what?
Yeah.
Just give us a report.
It's like when you suspend a kid from school and you tell them they have to write a report on somebody and they have to bring it in and he's like sat at home and he has to do this work, but it's ultimately fucking meaningless.
Like
A
this has
defense
to-
coach needs to be next to you screaming in your ear.
I
right?
don't know how the contract worked out where he like is stuck. Like how they have him trapped.
I don't think they wanted to let him go. I think that's what's happened.
They don't want him working for someone else.
Right.
They don't want him because if you ever seen like interviews of him or him coaching, videos of him coaching or anything about this guy,
Yeah.
he's a workaholic. He's obsessed
Yeah.
with working. He's super smart. He's
Yeah.
super intelligent. He's
Yeah.
like
His stock is high right
they
now.
don't
isn't it?
want that IQ going to another team.
It's sad.
That's the only thing.
This could be the prime years of
He's-
his life.
He's
in
a hostage.
Coaching.
He's a rugby hostage.
He is a rugby hostage. Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Like, he's in rugby jail.
he is. Yeah, they're not letting him go because they don't want his secrets being
He's not
revealed.
even living at home. He's like in some like rented apartment
Yeah.
somewhere in London.
Yeah.
That he's not allowed to leave.
Yeah, and there's some like goon stood out the door. You remember in the Matrix 2 where they have the guy who makes the keys and the French guy won't let him go because if he can't have him, no one can.
Yeah.
And he traps him in this room forever. That's the situation Felix Jones is in.
Felix Jones is in some fucking super bad situation.
Yeah.
Like he needs to be saved.
Yeah.
There needs to be some SEAL Team 6 to go in and like fucking save him.
Yeah. Irish SWAT team's gonna like kick down the doors.
Yeah, it's gonna be a movie. Andy
Yeah.
Farrell with his black paint on his face. He's
Yeah.
gonna like come out of the water.
Yeah.
Like in the what's the Thames River?
Yeah.
He's
He's gonna touch his ear and be like, Irish Wongo.
yeah,
Training panelists move in.
they're gonna take him.
Prendergast gonna kick in the door. And then do you know what's going to happen right at the end? Just when they're having a big gun battle and it looks like they're about to lose, Johnny Sexton rappels in with a machine gun. Saves everyone. They're like, you son of a bitch, Johnny. You think I'd quit?
Yeah, he'll come out of the water with the big machine gun.
Yeah.
with his tiny shoulders. He's like ketchup bottle body. But like, yeah, he needs to be saved. Like, someone has to go and save Felix Jones because there's. But it's just
the point we're trying to make is like, what the fuck is going on at England?
Yeah,
like okay, so the richest union, etc., 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 said it before. But if they don't have this perfect structure, where you've got head coach, attack coach, defense coach, assistant coach, 17 analysts, 46 water boys. That you're supposed to be our standard, and you can't keep your house in order. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's like some Samoan like corruption nonsense going on in England. You know, like what is happening? You got so much money, sort it out. You know, why can't they keep a coach?
I don't know, but all I do is I feel bad for Felix Jones.
I feel very bad for him. This is the point. I remember when Sean Edwards came to Wales, and he'd been with Wasps at Gatland, and their stock was high, and then all of a sudden Wales had this defense that you couldn't break through. And everyone knew it was Sean Edwards, right? And his stock went through the roof. This is Felix Jones's time to be the guy. You know, this is his Sean Edwards moment. And he's trapped in a flat in London on Zoom because England no, you're not going anywhere.
I just want to see Felix Jones' contract.
I think it's
like,
probably...
how can you tie someone up for a whole year like that?
You sign a contract, You're still paying him, right?
I've just never seen any kind of like employment contract where you're like just stuck at an employer.
Maybe he had to sign like a non-disclosure agreement or something saying...
I guarantee you're right about all that stuff. Yeah. I just was like, who's Felix Jones' agent?
Yeah, you really screwed him.
That, like, you got to fire that guy.
Yeah.
Like, if he has an agent, I hope he has an agent after this. You need like some lawyers. You need some shit. Like, because he like... It's insane.
Yeah, and you said it. I just think England don't want him elsewhere. They don't want him at Ireland, right? Because he'll be saying, this is what England are doing in their defence. And they're like, give it a year, and then you can fuck off once we've figured out.
He left from the best team in the world, South Africa, to England.
Well, because they paid him a lot of bloody money, probably.
Didn't they take their like scrum coach too?
And I think South Africa just weren't that bothered. They were like, yeah, you can go. We'll find another amazing coach. You know, we're South Africa.
It's true. They got talent at the wazoo, but that is the most fucked up situation.
It is strange, isn't it?
In coach, like in sports, like I've
bizarre,
never heard a story like that
bizarre.
ever.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
England it's not just England. Rugby just can't be normal, can it? Every time we're close to being like a normal
sport. Like I said, back to the thing, it's just rugby always doing fucking weird ass rugby shit.
Yeah, exactly. There was some scandal in Fiji which I don't want to get into, but it's just like what the fuck, guys?
It's just all rugby.
Yeah.
They may make if it's what does that sport do over there?
Yeah.
That makes them really successful. All they do is, okay, guys, we're gonna do absolutely nothing like that. Make sure we're doing the farthest thing away from what other successful sports are doing. Like we need to be I swear to God, that's
yeah. It feels like that. It feels like that. Speaking of England, I want to talk about English players in France because we're shitting on England a bit today. How is this list as long as my arm? Essentially, a very good starting 15 is now playing professional rugby in France who are English players. And yeah, that's true of Wales as well. But in Wales, we've got a much smaller population. We've got much less resources. We've only got 4 teams. So it makes sense these guys go overseas to play rugby, right? As much as I hate it. But in England, you've got 10 professional teams, the richest union in the world, TM, and you can't keep in some cases, your best players in your country. Like, it's pretty shocking. Best example recently, Owen Farrell. Like, much as people hate him, he's still one of the best 10s in the world. Like, what is one of your best 10s doing? Courtney Laws, Kyle Sinclair, Manu Tuolangi. These are all incredible players, right? And yeah, they're older, but they're still the best players in their position in some cases for England. Like, what's going on?
Well, I would say a few things. Like, their salary cap plays into that.
Money is obvious. Yeah, the big reason.
The salary cap is probably the biggest. Like, but at the same time, what have we seen since the salary cap has come into play? Since they've lost a couple teams, which I don't think would be much the fact, maybe, but since the salary cap has come in, one thing you have seen is the Prem. What have we seen in the last 2 seasons of the Prem?
What have we seen?
Yeah, a very competitive league.
Yeah, but it's not deliberate. That's the point that's the point I tried to make. Like when we were talking about this in last season, they didn't intend for it to be that competitive because those teams folded. Good players went to other clubs and increased the quality. But
they also have. I would say that is a factor. That's why I brought that up. The teams folding.
Yeah.
I also think the salary cap has played into that too, because now you don't have Leinsters.
No.
You don't have Leinsters in besides the Newcastle. Like you don't have like one team like just completely
with the entire national side.
Yeah. On one team anymore. When you used to, before the salary cap, before those teams folded, you had Team England was what team? Basically, it was the Saracens.
Saracens, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think the salary cap, like I think you do have it like barely. You're losing players to France. They have a salary cap supposedly too. It's just a lot higher.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot more money as well.
I just don't understand the whole. Like, I just don't get how these countries are so close to each other. Right? This is what I don't get. The countries are so close to each other. They're basically like you could like just drive in, like you could take a, like there's so everything is so close. Everything is so connected over in Europe.
Yeah.
And they have these eligibility rules. Like I could see New Zealand players. Okay, if you're going over to Europe across the planet to play, you're kind of far out of our system.
Yeah.
Right? If you need to go to an England camp and you're playing in France, what is it, an hour and a half train ride?
Yeah.
You could even fucking drive.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Well, the flight's an hour. It's like flying to Vancouver.
Even if you're playing in Italy.
Yeah.
What is it? It's like a 2-hour flight from London, 2.5 hour flight from London to Rome.
It's not about geography, and I know I've gone about geography a lot, but in this case, it's not about geography. It's about having the best union and club system that are connected, right? Like it devalues the prestige if half your players are fucking off because they want to make some money in France. It's saying, I'd rather make money than be proud of my country.
They've had a big exodus.
Yeah, they have.
And we've seen a very competitive league. Last year, we were all about the Prem.
Yeah, and I still am. No, I am. I still am. I'm saying there's something going on. Well, I know what it is. Money, isn't it? Players want to... I think there's a broader story here. The broader story is, in the last 3, 4, 5 years, there's less pride in the national jersey, and that's not just true of England. It's true of Wales. I would say it's still... I think Ireland is doing fine because, they keep all their players in-house. Their system is very good for that. New Zealand, though, I'm still surprised Mwanga would rather play in Japan than play for the All Blacks.
It's
money.
Money.
It's always... like that. This is the way the world is going. In rugby, professional rugby, it's all about money. But it's sad because our national game has always been a little bit bigger than our club game as far as like the average viewer is or fan is concerned, right? Rugby has a national game which is significant. A lot of sports don't have that.
Yeah.
And we're losing the value in the jersey. It used to be that in every country you could mention, everyone would be so fucking proud to pull on that jersey, Well,
I said this I said this a while ago, like Test rugby's got a lifespan.
Yeah.
As more money gets put into the club game, you're gonna see this type of thing, like players choosing money over the jersey, more and more and more, until eventually it'll be amateur Test rugby. You'll see under 20s or under 18s will be the pinnacle of Test.
It won't ever get to where the NHL is. I know that because I look at like football in the UK and the national game is still a big deal. It's not as big deal as in rugby compared to this club game, but it does devalue it, The
only thing I think that soccer has over rugby is the physicality. Like, it's way safer for a footballer to go play in the Euros or the FIFA World Cup or have a one-off test match. But
that's somewhat true, yeah.
But even then, like, if you're having like a one-off test match, like the star players aren't going. Right? They're only showing up for the big ones. They're showing up for FIFA, and they're all showing up for the Euros.
That's not true, I don't think. I think like because they're playing qualifying rounds right now in Europe to get into the Euro and the World Cups and things, and they still basically put out the best team they can. Like, do they even have tours? Yeah, they do. No, like, it's a big deal. Like, it's not as big. Like, the national game is important, but not as important as rugby. I would just say, like, game.
The only thing I think rugby is such a injury-prone sport.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think that's what soccer has over rugby.
That's true.
The fact that the injury, what's the word I'm looking for?
The attritional rate of it
is so high in rugby.
Yeah.
And it's so dangerous, and it's such a risk.
Yeah.
You could lose a player for like a whole year. You could lose a player for 2 years just in one game.
You can.
It's like it just the risk versus the contracts that these clubs are paying these players.
There can't be many more sports where you could be paying a guy full wages and he sits in the gym for a year, right? There can't be many sports like that where you've got a whole list of guys who basically haven't played a game and you're paying them collectively millions and they've done fuck all for your team in a year. RG Snyman at Munster, right? How much are they paying him? How much rugby did he play? And that is not, as funny as it was, that is not unique to that situation, is it, right? So many guys just on injury lists getting paid a lot of money, right? And they're long injuries.
Yeah, just the how violent the sport is. I could just see, and then how much more money is getting put into the club game.
Yeah,
year after year after year. I could just see this. Like, I don't know how these unions are gonna. These unions are gonna have to have, like, the insurance these unions have to have on these players.
Yeah,
is gonna be astronomical.
Yeah,
because they have to foot that bill.
Yeah.
Right? There's Canadian players that don't want to play for Team Canada because the insurance is not there.
Yeah.
So they don't want it to put their club game, their professional game, their careers at risk.
Yeah.
Right? There's some good players that are playing in Europe that don't want to come over here and play for Canada because they don't want to put themselves at risk.
Yeah.
So it's already happening. Like, so if that's not going to happen, if you think like the test level game is not going to go away, the amount of competitive nations will shrink.
Could be true.
That's what I could see.
Yeah.
So it's only the nations that can afford to cover these injuries that are going to stay relevant.
Yeah. And it's not just, it's about depth as well, isn't it? Like, you don't just have a 15.
No.
You need 30 to 40 guys in a training camp, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's big money. You got to pay them to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're serious today, eh?
No, this is serious
shit.
We're getting all sorts of serious.
I thought it'd be something, let's just make fun of England, but no, it's very serious in England, apparently.
So do you want to, let's talk about the URC.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the URC weekend. We had
familiar territory. There we go.
That's on Friday, Glasgow put a beat down on Zebre.
Yeah, I think we both called that, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we both called
I'm not denying Glasgow ever again.
I'm going to write them off. Just like I always do.
So Zebre was doing Zebre things.
They really didn't fire a shot. It was a bit pathetic.
33-3.
Yeah, no, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say about Zebra.
Benetton put a smackdown on the Sharks.
Okay, yeah.
38-10.
Yeah, like Edinburgh and Benetton are my kind of stories of the weekend. So like Benetton, I'm really happy about that because I don't want Italian teams to get my hopes up and then fuck off into the mist again, you know? And that's true of the Six Nations and that's true of the URC. Like, I'm really happy that Benetton are pushing on because they've got a squad to do it as well. Like, they've got a good squad. So I'm happy. And the Sharks, fuck's going on there. But, you know, whatever. I'll take a win for Benetton over the Sharks.
And like we were talking about earlier before the podcast, the Sharks are missing a lot of players.
Yeah, and you said that, and I was dismissive. I was like, I'm sick of hearing, why did we get our Springboks back? Why do we get our Springboks? And then I was actually looking at the list of Springboks that are coming back, and I was like, holy shit, that is a fucking World Cup. It's not just, these aren't just international players. They have all won 2 World Cups. Do you know what I mean? These are fucking good players. You know?
So the Sharks are just, they're kind of waiting. They're just kind of, they're just swimming.
They're like sharks, circling around.
Yeah, they're circling around. Waiting to,
yeah.
Heroes of the weekend, the Scarlets.
Didn't I say exactly this would happen? I fucking called it. Like, every time Scarlets could be playing the worst, every single player's shite, and then all of a sudden they play Cardiff and they just get out of bed and they have the game of the season.
Another plus, a Welsh team got a win.
Yeah, it was better than last week, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, it was inevitable. Yeah, every time a Welsh team plays a Welsh team, at least a Welsh team's getting a win.
Yeah.
You know? Unless it was that week where the Scarlets drew with
the fucking Scarlets. Cardiff.
Oh my God. Well, to be fair, okay, so I'll tell you something about Cardiff. We all of a sudden have a hooker injury crisis. I think we're down to our like 3rd choice hooker after like the 3rd game. And our starting hooker a few
he
weeks...
left because he was holding bags. He was that sad.
No, the boys at Cardiff, they like playing for Cardiff. This isn't some Warren Gatland dubious nonsense. Like, you know, so Liam Belcher, the Cardiff captain, I think he's fractured his thumb. So we're down to like our 3rd choice hooker, which is not good. It's not good. So all these Welsh regions, you know, it's paper thin. As soon as there's a few injuries, their season's over. I'm not saying our season's over, but any hopes of staying in the top 4 are gone, you know. We're going to be like mid-table within a couple of weeks, you know. So whatever. Sad, but fucking Scarlet.
Just coming to ruin the party.
Sam Costello and Johan Lloyd, you know, we were talking about these guys like they need to be playing 10 for Wales, and they've been shit for weeks. And all of a sudden, they're both playing out their fucking skin. Gareth Davis looks like he's playing like a 21-year-old again. Like, fucking hell, guys. Scarlets.
Edinburgh.
That's my other story. They're
Edinburgh.
bouncing right back into it. Good for
Look
them.
at this. So Benetton played the Sharks 38-10.
Yeah.
Edinburgh 38-7.
Yeah.
What kind of conspiracy is going on
It's
here?
weird, but Benetton and Edinburgh, yeah, they've got some kind of like voodoo doll
I think
connection
it's the
going on.
government. I think they're using the same technologies the U.S. government uses to make the hurricanes. They're controlling the scores. It's a little too close.
It
a little
is,
too
isn't it?
suspicious.
They're mirroring because last week they both got fucking hammered. This week they have the same fucking scores. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
I think you're gonna see. I'm starting to come around to having these South African teams in here
Yeah.
because I think you're just gonna see this all season.
What do you mean you're coming around? You've always loved it.
I know, but I'm kind of coming around to because I think you're gonna see all season. Like they're gonna come up here.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose a bunch of games
Yeah.
unless they're playing the Welsh teams, and then
Osprey's a joke to you?
and then they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And then teams are gonna go down to South Africa
Yeah.
and get spanked.
Osprey's a joke to you?
Our Osprey's a joke.
They've done the double on the Stormers.
Yes, they are. They are a joke to me.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Fuck the Ospreys.
So I think I just don't like seeing a score like that. I know the Stormers are better than that.
Yeah.
It's just
They're bottom of the league.
I don't want to take anything away from
Edinburgh? No.
But Edinburgh is like one of those teams too.
Don't pity Edinburgh though. They've got basically half the Scottish national team there.
Yeah, but look at them last year. Same thing.
They did okay last season.
They did okay.
Yeah. They did okay. I mean, Glasgow won it, and
Yeah.
they also have several Scottish internationals.
Well, they should
right?
have 50-50 maybe, but
Yeah.
there's only two fucking teams.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, Edinburgh should be playing. Edinburgh have the resources to do well, just like Benetton do, So beating a weakened South African side is expected, I think, at home,
Game of the weekend easily coming up here. Leinster-Munster.
You thought it was the game of the weekend?
That was the game of the weekend.
Oh, why?
It was the
I
game.
thought it was over by about 20 minutes in.
Well, I did too.
It was.
And it was.
Yeah.
It was. I thought
You have to sell
Munster
this
were
to
going
me.
to kind of come back. This is a game of two halves. 80,000 fans.
Yeah.
80,000
That is
fans
good, isn't it, for club
for
rugby?
a URC game.
Yeah. A lot of Leinster boys there as well.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
traveled.
when Munster was doing good, the
Yeah.
crowd was fucking loud too.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, for me, the game was not the best game. It wasn't a bad game, but it was one-sided.
There was
The crowd made it feel.
This was a game of two halves, I think.
I never thought Munster were going to win that.
I thought Leinster came in, their pack just overpowered their pack.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be a bad game. Wow. And then the second half, like, Leinster didn't score a point.
No, but they didn't have to.
Right?
They didn't have to, though.
And, RJ Snyman scoring a try.
Oh, that try he scored.
What
Like,
a fucking fuck you, Munster.
yeah. It was like...
They had this guy for, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
He played, 10 games?
It wasn't even bad defending. They had him tackled. His arm just came out
I've
like
seen
a
him do
fucking
this a lot.
telescope.
I've seen him do that a number of times.
Of course you have, because
He
he's
did that
nearly
in the World
7 foot
Cup
tall.
against England.
Yeah.
He took the ball and just fucking walked in.
Yeah.
He's a power boy.
He is. He's massive. He's fucking massive.
power
Yeah.
boy.
He's pretty fast for a guy of his size as well. Yeah, like he's a secret weapon, isn't he? Well, he's not even a secret anymore. Yeah, I mean, that game for me, Munster injury list, like I said last week, their injury list was never going to let them win that game, right? They basically played the Irish team and a World Cup winner,
I feel bad, Munster, losing to RJ Simon.
Yeah.
They got Jean Klein, who's a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
But fuck, the difference.
Yeah.
The difference. You got Wish.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus the real deal Nike.
Yeah.
It's just fucking it sucks for Munster. The game was a lot more competitive. This is a game where now the story is going. Everyone wants Kieran Frawley to start for 10 for Ireland. So everyone he had a fucking awesome game, and now the talks if you go on any comment section, Kieran is the talk of the town now.
I think
this was the step up game too.
Yeah, it was. It was a big.
I thought Jack
ask.
Crowley played a fucking awesome game too.
He did, and this is a I think this is a kind of a uniquely Irish problem because Leinster have always been so successful. Anyone who plays for them looks good regardless of how they play. Don't get me wrong, I love Frawley. He's class. I've been saying it as I've been saying it that he should be picked over Byrne at Leinster. But it's an easy ride when your forwards are playing that well.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Jack Crowley played actually pretty good, and he has the experience. I don't think Andy Farrell is that naive, but it is a uniquely Irish problem because they always do this. And that's why most of the Leinster guys are the Irish players over their counterparts in Munster or Connacht or Ulster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's easy to look good in a Leinster team. And yeah, they're good players, but there's equally good players, sometimes better players in provinces that aren't as successful. I thought John Cooney should have been playing for Ireland a long time ago. It's too fucking late now. But there's a lot of guys in Ireland who don't get a shot because there's some guy in Leinster who's in a winning team. And winning is important, but I would not change Jack Crowley for Kieran Frawley. Not even close.
Oh,
not
after watching that game, like I was even starting to...
But that's how you feel, right? When you watch such a dominant performance, you think it's all down to Frawley. It's like you said it, the forward smushed him.
He's got some savvy playmaking.
He's good, man. He's good. But it's easy to look good at 10 when your forwards are that good, right? You've got the best platform you could ask for. I always thought Dan Biggar for Wales, he never got the plaudits he deserved. I thought he was as good as Sexton and Farrell, and people would obviously argue with me on that. I think that's probably a very debatable point. But when you're not playing in a winning team or you don't have that quality around you, you don't look as good, right?
I don't know. I think that's a personal thing. I think everyone would put him up there. I even put him mixed with those other two.
But a lot of people wouldn't. And I think it's because he wasn't always in a winning team,
I agree with you. I agree with you on those points. But yeah, this was the game. I thought this game was Kieran Frawley really put his hand up.
He did. And don't get what I agree with you is he should definitely be in that conversation. And if Jack Crowley is injured, yeah, I'd play Frawley. But I don't think Jack Crowley should go anywhere.
And I still think Ireland's got a front row issue.
They got some depth problems. Yeah,
they
got one very good front row.
Their props are aging.
Yeah,
struggling.
Yeah,
getting older. They just got Andrew Porter, and they put a lot of miles. Like he's good, but he's played so many 80-minute games.
Yes,
and they rely on him so much. He's young still.
Yeah.
He's still young, and he's fit. He's strong, but they're going to cut this guy short.
They are.
They're going to cut his life short.
Yeah.
Because he's going to put by the time he's 30, he'll be completely fucking roasted.
And you know that props tend to get better with age, not if you've tanned them like a fucking workhorse into the ground, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck was Cian Healy doing out there? Actually, he played pretty well, but like Cian Healy was out there just like it's no big deal.
He'll play until he's dead.
Probably will.
Yeah.
Probably will.
He'll be a corpse still going out
But
there.
it says to me, you've got this insane depth and a very good academy. Why is Cian Healy playing so much minutes?
They have a depth problem. Even Munster.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the sad thing about this game is Ireland in their kind of period of success in the last few years, they've been quite lucky with injuries. Actually, like if you look at it, they haven't had. They've had one or two injuries here and there, but they've never had like significant injuries to their starting 15. All of a sudden, after that game, Leinster just lost a bunch of guys. They're still missing Dan Sheehan. Munster are missing a bunch of guys. They're going to be forced in this Autumn Nations thing to pick some guys who have not got as much international experience. And they've got some big games that they're expected to win. They're expected to win that game versus New Zealand at home. Like New Zealand are coming in looking a bit ropey. This is a perfect time to re-establish the new world order, show that Ireland are here to stay, and all of a sudden they got some injury problems, right? And because they haven't blooded a lot of youngsters, because they haven't got that depth, all of a sudden it looks a bit wobbly for them.
Even for Ireland coming up, they got a ton of injuries coming up.
That's what I'm saying.
They got a ton of injuries in the backcourt. Conan's injured. Fucking,
Sheehan's
Ronan
injured.
Keller's injured.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of injuries all over the place.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest concern for me with just Team Ireland in general, just going forward, their forwards, like the front pack, is what's his name? Sheehan's injured too. Forever.
Furlong. Talking about Furlong?
No, Furlong I don't think is injured.
No,
but he's fucking looking.
They look knackered, don't they?
Yeah,
he looks knackered. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't think Ollie Jaeger's the guy that we thought he was either.
I was surprised. I thought he was going to come in and wreck up the show. He's a huge dude, big dude, very agile. Player, but he is just fucking every week injured.
Yeah.
Fuck, he's out with a neck thing. He's out with a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck, man. I really thought when he was going to come in, he was going to
fit right in.
I thought he was going to steal the show.
Yeah.
And Andy Farrell sees something in him. he keeps picking up in squads, but this guy is a fucking like always has an injury.
Yeah, he does.
So I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ospreys and Bulls.
I always thought, I wish Osprey had put a bit more of a fight, but Bulls look imperious. Bulls look like they're going to win the fucking thing.
I think Leinster and the Bulls are the only two teams in the URC that haven't lost a game yet.
And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
They
both look fucking incredible. And like the Bulls, I know it's a cliche, but they've got Springboks to come back. Like they're going to get better. That's going to be a hell of a game. Is Bulls Leinster. It's all about squad depth, right? It's all about squad depth now, and Ospreys will take some more scalps this season. But yeah, I did not see him beating the Bulls this weekend. So I don't know what else you want to say about that, really.
Weren't you looking at squad sizes?
I was, yeah, because when we were talking about the Springboks come back to the Sharks, I was like curious. They've got, I think it's 66 players, not including young guys in the academy. And then I thought, okay, compare that. I think Cardiff have 35, maybe something like that. Like they literally have double the players, right? And that's what it's about now. And you've got to remember, it's not just that they have more play; they're paying them, right? They're paying all these guys. They're paying literally.
Now the pay is a big question,
and they're paying them more. They're literally paying them more
in down the Sharks.
Yeah, they must be. They must be paying them. Well, I know they're paying them more. I don't know how much more. And they looked at Leinster, and I was surprised. I said, "Oh, actually, we've got 46 in their squad, which is about maybe 20 less than the Sharks do. Still a big squad, but it's 20 less than the Sharks." Then I looked a little bit down, and they've got their academy guys, and then they have nearly 70 players. They've got 68, I think I counted. Might be one or two off, but they've got nearly 70 players on their roster. That's fucking insane. Like this league, as much as everyone is like pie in the sky best league, there are teams in there who, if this was like a if we had relegation and 2-league system, the Dragons would never play Leinster again. The Dragons would never play Sharks again. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And it'd take 30, 40 years for them to build up the budget, the experience, whatever. They're not in the same league, literally and metaphorically. Well, literally they are, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is not a fair, even playing field.
No, it's not.
So I don't know what.
I don't think that's the Bulls' fault.
No, it's not the Bulls' fault. It's no one's fault. It's just when whose fault it is. It's no one's fault, but it does annoy me when people go, "This is the best league." It's like, no, this league is not competitive, right? This league is not
competitive at the top end.
That's exactly. It's not competitive, right? It's not competitive, So what you do about that?
Yeah, I know. The Welsh teams are fucking everything up here.
Oh yeah, it's
you guys are
fault.
making it look.
Yeah,
it's the Welsh teams that are making it. Like Edinburgh, fucking Glasgow, they're fine.
Yeah,
Benetton is still there. They got two teams there, but Benetton's still raising the flag. Like we'll fucking fight with the big dogs.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
the Welsh teams just fucking. And I don't know what's too. It's not like the talent's not there. It's not like Wales isn't producing young talent.
Oh, it produced an insane amount of rugby players. You just can't pay them to stay in Wales.
Yeah.
Look at Gloucester right now. Like fucking Welsh players fucking coming out their arse and they're all playing amazing. It's money though, isn't it? It's money. It's money. We're gonna have to reckon with this at some point.
Ulster got into winning ways.
Yeah, I always have a soft spot for Ulster. I'm happy they.
I want Iconic to win this. I'm a Iconic fan.
Yeah, you're a Iconic guy, aren't you? Yeah.
I thought they should have won this game too, and they kind of just dogged off at the end.
Yeah. I thought Connacht should have won that based on their recent form. Yeah, good for Ulster. They needed a win as well. They were literally bottom of the league. They badly needed a win. Good for them.
Lions versus Dragons. Now this game was pretty competitive.
It was. I think
it went back and forth. There was some drama in this.
Yeah.
I think it was just a depth thing for the Dragons. Yeah,
it definitely was. Same thing we've been talking about, but the good thing is...
I thought when I saw that, I thought, Dragons have some players. They got a squad here that's a lot better than it looks. Yeah.
They've improved.
They just don't have, was it a 23-man squad?
No.
Is it 23 players?
Yeah.
On a team sheet? Yeah.
Yeah.
To close out games.
No. And yeah, I think they'll take a few more scalps this year, but they have improved, right? Like you can see it. They've literally got better.
The pack battle too.
Yeah.
The pack battle was
pretty
impressive.
evenly matched.
Yeah. I was like a good old South African pack versus the Dragons pack. I thought they'd just get fucking annihilated.
Yeah.
I mean the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was impressed by that.
Yeah.
But fuck, what was I talking about earlier? Who's that fullback?
I think it was Angus O'Brien, 15. I think it was Angus. Yeah. Like
this guy should never fucking play for the Dragons ever again after that fucking bullshit.
He's normally good as well. He's normally pretty good. Yeah, he tries to tackle the South African, I can't remember his name, makes the tackle, Two guys around him are like, he's made the tackle, good job. Then he slides off him and lets him run in for a try. Like, it was so Dragons. It was so Dragons. Like, he could have won this.
Yeah. Let's just go over got a little bit of time left here. I want to go over the Premiership games.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to take a look at the Premiership games just real quick here.
I actually I didn't watch any Premiership games. Not because I don't like it, but...
All right, so...
I just watched highlights.
Sale, the Battle of the North. Sale versus Newcastle.
Does that go any different to you
Fuck,
expected?
what a fucking depressing team, Newcastle. It must suck fucking playing there.
Yeah, about as
Fuck
far
these
north
guys,
as you can
man.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, like, geez, they just don't care.
No. It's disappointing because we were told they were going to be better.
Yeah,
but
I was kind of
obviously they're fucking
believing.
not.
Yeah, so Sale did this. Another depressing game, too. Exeter Chiefs, Bristol. And Bristol's fucking looking good.
Bristol are mental, aren't they?
Yeah,
Bristol
40-35.
mental. Yeah.
Exeter, fuck, have they won a game yet?
No, they haven't.
They're like at the bottom of the league, aren't they? Like with
Well,
Newcastle.
no, Newcastle are bottom, but yeah.
This is a team where this team gaslit the shit out of me. I thought the Exeter Chiefs. I thought there was a good breakout year, and fucking.
I don't think they're far off. I don't think they're going to finish in the bottom, even the bottom four. But they basically missed their chance to win the league now, haven't they? You know, they basically missed their chance to be the fucking.
I don't
team.
think they'll crack the top four. 'Cause it's only top four that go.
No,
past.
I don't think they'll crack the top. I just don't think
they
they'll be
have
in the
to like
four.
do. They're gonna have to do. Like you look at the team
They'll be in
sheet.
fifth then.
You look at the team sheet. You look at the players, and I think these guys are like all good, and they got a fucking big pack.
They do.
They got a lot of big boys,
And they got a history of having a big pack, haven't they? Yeah.
they're just like not. I just don't know what's going on there. Henry Slade's injured.
That's a big deal.
Like
That's a big
maybe
deal.
they're missing that leadership.
I
But
think
that's
so.
like just one guy.
They got a lot of young guys, right? So
They needed him to just like when Daddy's not home, they're just fucking everywhere.
What-
They're just eating cereal right out of the box. Like they're fucking
cup
like
noodles
what's
for
going
dinner.
on here? There's just no
And
control
when Rob Baxter's in charge, I wouldn't be worried about a thing. Like, I bet Rob Baxter's fine.
because they're just like it's like the fucking opening credits of the team just looks like the opening credits of the Muppet Babies, where they're just all over the fucking place, rolling around,
Shitting
and
in
shit.
their nappies.
Yeah, like what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, don't worry, Rob Baxter will fix him. Like, and the thing is, if you meet Bristol on one of their when they're in the mood, they're the most like fucking bipolar team ever. Like, if you meet Bristol when they're in a good mood, you fucking no one but Bristol's winning.
Last year, like the Bristol had a kind of a rough start.
Yeah.
But at the end of the season, they were
came
like the
back.
best team in the league.
Yeah. When they
Right?
get going,
And but they started too late.
Yeah.
But they were building into something.
yeah,
They were building forward into something, and and now I think it's starting to like what they were building last year.
Yeah.
They've carried over into this year.
they're top of the league, Bristol. Yeah. So yeah, they could win it. So, but don't catch Bristol in a bad mood. You know, they'll kick your ass.
Bath.
Bath.
Oh, and you know what about Exeter too in this game? I think it was in the last 20, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The Bristol were 20 points down. So they came back in the last 15 minutes, scored like 28 points.
Bristol and Harlequins love a comeback. They fucking love a comeback.
So I was
don't
like,
they?
holy fuck. So Exeter's, I don't know what's going on there. That was
No.
just, ugh.
Yeah, a bit
Gloucester, Bath fucking,
yeah.
yeah.
The Bath beating the bridesmaids of the Gallagher Prem. Gloucester just can't seem to get their shit together. Yeah, Bath could win it this year, actually. I thought Northampton were going to keep up their form, but as we will discuss very shortly,
You got
they fucking didn't.
5 teams, I think, that are really stepping up right now.
Yeah.
You got Bristol, that look amazing.
Yeah.
Bath look great. Saracens look good.
Yeah.
Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester and
Leicester
Quins.
have come out of their grave.
Yeah.
And I think Harlequins are going to be, I don't know if Harlequins are going to be like, they're just they're good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they are good. Leicester, Northampton, though?
24-28. Leicester.
24-8.
24-8, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what you said.
Yeah, Leicester. Michael Checa.
Yeah.
He's doing some things there.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. But beating Northampton's a big deal, obviously. I think with Leicester, I need to see more wins before I go, oh, actually, they could win this, you know?
What's the you got the table up there?
I do. They're in 4th. Yeah, 3 wins, 1 loss. Yeah, a lot of teams 3 wins and 1 loss.
Yeah.
The top 5 are 3 wins and 1 loss.
Is there anyone that hasn't lost a game?
Nope. Everyone's lost a game.
Everyone's lost
including Saracens this weekend.
Yes.
To
we're going to
Harlequins.
get to that. We're going to get to that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Got excited.
But Leicester is, their pack is fucking...
Yeah. I mean, they've always been the forwards team in the Gallagher in the English Premiership, right? They're always the big scary boys.
I think last year, because they had that fucking Steve McKellar or Steve Keller, I forget their coach. He came from Super Rugby. I forget who he coached. I want to say the Brumbies.
Okay.
But I think he was trying to get them to play like some kind of more open. It wasn't their DNA.
Yeah.
He was trying to go against their DNA, and I think Michael Cheika is bringing the team back into their DNA. They're just a fucking bunch of brutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they got dirty faces from the factory, and they just want to fucking fight and be rough.
Yeah. No, that's true. Like Leicester have always been that team. Like I don't think you can change Leicester. They're the team that had Martin Johnson, the hardest bastard in England.
Like their front row.
Yeah.
Nicky Smith.
Yeah.
Julia Montoya.
Yeah.
And Joe Hayes.
Yeah. Those are big boys. They're all international players, right? So
yeah. Like this is just Andre Pollard's back. Like it's just like this is a team that's even just looking at the sheet. Like this is a good team.
Yeah. No, it is a good team.
And good for Michael Cheika. Michael Cheika's like kind of like man, he's
a perfect fit for Leicester.
But he's kind of had this like what's the word? Come on,
Renaissance.
Yeah, something like that. Because when he left the Wallabies, like his tail was between his legs.
Yeah,
everyone wanted him gone.
Yeah,
he was just this like no one thought much of him as a coach after his stint with Australia.
Yeah,
because he was just like he wasn't making any changes.
And he was angry all the time, fighting the press.
Yeah, and everyone just thought he was too thick-headed.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Argentina, and it's like life changes.
Yeah,
it's the
I'm
peyote.
Surprised he left.
It's the ayahuasca.
He had a little ayahuasca trip. I've never not rated Michael Cheika. Like I always think he's had bad situations, and he's like gets angry. Like someone will be like, "Hey, you were shit today," and he's like Russell Crowe. He'll just fight people.
He was in Argentina. He went to an ayahuasca retreat.
Opened his mind.
Spiritual awakening, and he's a new man.
Had an ego death, came to Leicester, but then he did have a fight with a doctor, so I don't think he's quite over his inner demons yet.
I was laying in the desert, and this eagle flew over me.
It said, "Fuck the backs,
go back to the forwards,
maul everything."
Yeah, he good for him.
Yeah,
good for Michael Cheika.
Well, the game we all want to talk about is Harlequin Saracens, because you said last week, where the fuck do Saracens come from? How do they keep doing it? And Harlequins found the silver bullet. This Harlequins like the Van Helsing of the Gallagher Prem. They snuck into the vampire's lair.
Bullet was?
Who was it?
Do you know who the silver bullet was for this game?
Who was
it? You know who their secret weapon was for this game, basically?
Go fucking tell me.
You don't even know? Lee Halfpenny. He came out of his fucking CTE grave and fucking climbed out and he shut down the Saracens.
Yeah.
Because the Saracens play this like fucking crazy kicking game.
They do.
Where they play the field. They just put a lot of pressure on the opposite team with their kicking.
Yeah.
And Lee Halfpenny was fucking everywhere.
Yeah. There was a time when everyone was like, what's the deal with Lee Halfpenny? Why does everyone rate him so much? Because he's psychic. Wherever there's an attack or a kick, he will be there.
Yeah.
He will. When he was really good for Wales, about 2013, he was just exactly where he needed to be every single time, which is what you want for a fullback. But he does the work, right? He gets moving while the other team are like kind of getting up ready for a kick. Yeah. So. Yeah.
He shut down. He basically shut down their game plan.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
Yeah. Fair play to him. I'm glad, because the story about him has been like when he was at Crusaders and now when he's at Harlequins. It's like, and even when he was in France for a bit, it was like, the fuck is it? Why are people paying money for Lee Halfpenny? Like this over the hill, not very good attacking fullback. Because when he's on form, he's one of the best defensive fullbacks in the world, right?
Yeah. He is,
because he can read the game very, very well.
He really showed his worth.
Yeah,
in this game, he really kind of opened my eyes. This is why Lee Halfpenny is This is why teams still pay for him.
But you could be forgiven for thinking the opposite, because he hasn't done anything important in rugby for 3 or 4 years, right? And a fucking early season game against the Saracens, it took that for him to show it, So. Yeah.
But that was a rock star showing, and that's how you kill the Saracens.
He was the Van Helsing of the day.
Yeah,
he killed the Saracens Dracula.
Silver bullet. You just pop him in the gun and you shoot him at him.
Yeah. I mean,
I just don't know where that came. I was just like, holy.
Because he's never gonna break the line, is he? He's never gonna like sprint past 4 guys or anything. Like, but yeah, he'll be there when you need him most. He's like that boyfriend that you dump and then you go, actually, he was the one. He's kind of like a golden retriever. He's like harmless and nice, and you go out with all these douchebags, and you go, that boy from my hometown, the one who, he's a good old boy. He's the one. I'm coming back. I'm coming home to my first lovely halfpenny.
But good for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for the Harlequins.
Yeah, I like the Harlequins. Yeah, and I don't like the Saracens. I'm just gonna say it. Don't like them.
No one likes the Saracens.
Nobody likes them. It's easy to hate them, isn't it? It's easy to hate them, and I just don't know how they keep doing it. They lose all these players, and they're still fucking bossing people around. But the Harlequins
just have
didn't take it.
They got good coaching.
They do have excellent coaches.
They got excellent coaches.
Yeah. They got a fuck of a back row as well, like Ben Earls and all the other guys in that back row.
They just have a really good system.
Yeah, they do.
They might have I'm assuming the Saracens have a really good team culture.
Must be. They got a lot of fucking money as well. But yeah, that's by the by because they've got a salary cap in.
They do have a lot of money too, and don't they have the smallest fan base in the Premiership? Did you know that?
It's a bit of a running joke.
That's what.
I mean, how do you count a fan base? I guess by attendances. Yeah, I guess by attendances. Yeah.
So like they are known for having the smallest fan base too.
Yeah, they are. They're known for it. Yeah.
So, but they do have a fuck. Well, I guess their owner is. He's a
very rich man. Yeah, Nigel Ray. Yeah, but the thing is, it's like there's a salary cap, so he can't do anything that the other teams can't do.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they already learned their lesson.
Salary caps are one thing.
Yeah,
but
sneaking around him is
there's
another.
always a way around a salary cap.
Oh yeah,
every league that has a salary cap, the teams have a way around it.
Oh yeah,
when you look at some teams that have all the stars still, and there's a salary cap, especially like in the NFL or NHL and stuff like that, and you got like all these stars on one team, you're just like,
yeah, they've got some kind of Ponzi scheme going on. Invest in this, boys. Yeah.
Like a perfect example, just to sidetrack this, is the Edmonton Oilers. They have like 2 of the best hockey players in the world.
Okay.
Yes, they are like the 2 highest paid NHL players in the world. Yeah. But at the same time, they got to live in Edmonton. There's a lot attracting them to other cities to play hockey. Yeah. And they could play, any team would have them. Any team would play top dollar for these 2 players. Yeah. And they play in Edmonton. Yeah. And it's not because of their salary that there's extra things going on. Yeah. Right? Like there's extra shit going on.
They're hooking them up. Yeah.
But
well, this is exactly what happened at Saracens, right? Mm-hmm. When they got relegated, they didn't breach the salary cap and that they were just paying their guys more money. They were getting their players to invest in properties and things, right? They're literally finding ways around the salary cap. So you don't need to look even further afield than the fucking same team we're talking about. They've already done this. Not that I'm saying they're doing it again, but like you're right. There's ways around salary caps, and the Saracens have got fucking caught red-handed with it, right? So they don't die.
It's not the last time you're going to see this too. It's not the last time you're going to see a scandal about because I even know last year there was rumors about some teams.
Well, Leicester, this same thing happened to Leicester not long after Saracens. Exactly the same thing happened, right? Like they breached the salary cap. So
got to pay to play.
Yeah, you do. But good for Harlequins. I like a good Harlequin.
Well, let's just let's close up shop here. Okay. Let's just go over the games real quick for next week.
Quick fire predictions.
Let's go over the United Rugby Championship. Yeah. So next week we got Scarlets Bulls.
Scarlets.
Okay. Ulster Ospreys. Ulster's going over to. I think
that'll be pretty evenly matched.
The fuck is
the new place?
Belfast.
Yeah.
Ulster's going to win this game.
I know I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on and say every time a Welsh team plays in Ravenhill, the referee is just like, not today. That Cardiff Ulster game still haunts me. That sounds conspiratorial. I think Ulster will win on merit, actually. Playing at home, marginally better than the Ospreys, yeah.
Lions going over to Zebra.
Lions.
Yeah.
The lion eats the zebra, my friend.
Okay, here we go. Next weekend. Yeah. Glasgow is at the Sharks.
I think... Ooh, in South Africa?
Yeah, in South Africa.
I'm going to write off Glasgow.
I'm going to go Glasgow for the win.
I'm going to write off Glasgow, even though they're probably going to win it, but I'm going to write them off because it's funny.
Yeah. Munster going to the Stormers.
I think Munster will
I'm going to call Stormers to win this one.
In South Africa?
Yeah.
Are the Springboks back? I'm going to call Stormers. Yeah,
I'm going to call Stormers for this one.
You're right.
I don't know if Munster's going to send... they just had a hard game.
They got a lot of injuries.
Yeah, they had a lot of injuries. I don't know if they're going to send
the best team.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Cardiff going to Edinburgh. Edinburgh's going to spank Cardiff.
I don't think they'll spank them. I would no. Actually, I'm going to call Cardiff. I think they do a win. I think yeah, because Edinburgh have been up and down. Cardiff can beat Edinburgh. If it wasn't for our hooker crisis, I'd be more confident. I'm going to say Cardiff.
Leinster going to Connacht.
Leinster.
I'm going to say Connacht was going to win this game.
Leinster by 20 points.
I think Leinster's going to send a weaker team.
No, they're not making that. They're not making that mistake.
Watch
again.
this big call. You should record these. One day you should do this recording. You should record our predictions.
One day.
Yeah.
I don't even take these that seriously anymore.
Benetton at Newport. Going to the Dragons there.
Benetton. I hate to say it.
Think Benetton?
Yeah, they just.
I'm going to call Dragons on this one.
Okay.
I liked what the Dragons. I like what the Dragons were putting out yesterday. I'm kind of a Dragon believer this year.
Okay.
They're going to have a couple upsets. I'm going to say Dragons are going to win this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it for that.
Right.
And if we go over to the Premiership of the Prems, we got Newcastle. They're hosting Exeter Chiefs, who I don't know.
I'm gonna call it a draw.
This is the battle of the bottoms.
I'm gonna say a draw.
A draw.
I'm gonna say a draw. No, Exeter.
Yeah.
Exeter
Sale
for the win.
over at Northampton. This will be a good game.
That will be a good game. I think Sale are going to win that, actually.
I think Sale will win this game, too.
Yeah.
Northampton look a little undercooked.
They do look a bit ropey. Yeah.
They're just
bit of a
kinda
hangover,
lost.
eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This game.
Mm.
Is this the same weekend? Yeah, this is the same weekend here. Saturday, we have Saracens in Bristol.
Ooh, that'd be a good game.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game.
I do think Saracens are going to win that, though.
I'm going to call Bristol to win this game.
Okay.
I'm a big Bristol believer this year.
Yeah.
Another one, Bath Harlequins. Oh, goddamn.
I want Harlequins to win, but I think Bath are kind of under the radar, looking very fucking good.
Yeah,
so
the most boring team in the Premiership, Bath.
They're not boring. They just have no
They're
personality.
Like the most vanilla, the whole branding, everything.
Yeah, like on the field, they're a good rugby team. They're exciting. It's just like the vibe is just shit, isn't it?
They have the worst vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll do. I'm gonna call Bath.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to.
Via boring ass fucking. But not boring. Rugby.
I love slagging off Bath for no reason.
Gloucester is going Leicester.
Oh,
Leicester's gonna fucking.
Yeah, Leicester's gonna win.
Yeah,
that. I really want Gloucester to win.
They're
got a lot of Welsh guys,
put a
but
pumping on them.
But yeah, Leicester's winning that.
And that is our episode for this week.
We're a bit serious then.
Were you?
I think
Did you feel a little negative?
Not negative. We had to drag ourselves back from the negativity a couple times.
Oh my god.
You know?
You gotta have the raw emotion. You gotta have that rawness.
No, but we're grumpy fuckers. We need to cheer up a bit.
You're grumpy.
You're grumpy.
All right, have a good one, folks.
Thanks.